Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan Zones, the show that brings you the latest updates as it concerns Arsenal. Now, if you're visiting this channel for the first time, again, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you get to be notified whenever there's a new video. You can do that now, please. Alright, great. So, another game out of the way with 11 more finals to go. What an absolute fantastic, scintillating performance by the young lads today. I mean, in a game where we would have actually scored as many goals as possible. But of course, what that matters is the 3 points and of course 3 goals scored against a Fulham side that, I mean, this was one game that, you know, was quite a dicey one, especially when you look at the first leg. At the Emirates, this same Fulham side almost cost us all 3 points, and coming back to the other home to pick up all 3 points and 3 goals was absolutely a fantastic performance. There's actually a whole lot to actually talk about in today's game. We had a Leandro Trossard who actually gave a hat-trick of assists. The fact that you also have the goals being distributed amongst the players. We also saw the return of Gabriel Jesus coming back into the team. I mean, this is one player that virtually all Arsenal fans have been waiting for his return. And I mean, just to cap that up, Mikel Arteta having his 100 wins for Arsenal. That may not be said to be a title, but I mean, that's obviously a very huge achievement for the coach. I mean, lots of good displays for Arsenal, but Leandro Trossard is far and away the man of the match. Another excellent game for the Belgian, who gets the best out of all those around him. Also, we had Martinelli, Odegaard and Gabriel Magalhaes, who were all impressive in today's game. I mean, the last time we had a player who had a hat-trick of assists was a very long time ago when we had Santi Cazorla, former Arsenal player, a very fantastic, skillful player we once had. And to think that at this point in time you have another player who will give such, assist in a game, just tells you the quality in the squad. What a time to be an Arsenal fan. Fantastic game we had, a very scintillating 5-star performance we had from the young lad today. I mean, like we said earlier on, the goals would have actually been much more than we saw today. But all that matters is the fact that we got all 3 points and 3 goals to our kitties as well. It still looks like 11 games might actually look like not so much, but I mean, you can obviously lose 2 games and Manchester City catch up with you. But of course, that's not what we're actually looking at. We're not hoping that anything of such actually happens before the end of the season. It will definitely be one game at a time. And just somehow, that's what we have actually seen from this Arsenal side. It's been one game at a time. And you have to give credit to Arteta, who was actually walked, in that direction. They've not allowed that pressure to be on them. You have to give credit also to these young lads. I mean, you have a very young squad. As a matter of fact, the youngest, in the Premier League, and just to see what they've been able to deliver, so far. So very briefly, we'll just take player ratings, and you can also leave your views in the comment section on the ratings and what you want to give to the players. So, well, of course, to the goalkeeper, obviously, where we had Aaron Ramsdale, another clean sheet, for the young lad. He made a couple of big saves in the second half. Well, it wasn't so too clever with his feet, at times, but it was generally a good game for Aaron Ramsdale. I will give him a 6.5 over 10 in today's game. Uh, Ben White, right back. White had a tricky assignment in the form of Manos Solomon, but his afternoon was pretty quiet as Fulham actually struggled to get their live wire into the game down the left. Not exactly a quiet one for Ben White, but another great performance from the young lad. William Saliba, what can you say about this guy? Week in, week out, the guy keeps improving, and we saw another fantastic performance from William Saliba in today's game. Well, obviously he may not have scored, he may not have been in the score sheets like his partner, but this was nonetheless an excellent defensive performance. He obviously marshaled Alexander Mitrovic very well and made some timely interventions in the box. To his partner, Gabriel Magalhaes, this guy seems to get a thing for Fulham. He obviously scored in the reverse fixture, and he opened the scoring in today's game. And it must be said that the connection between himself and William Saliba has actually been fantastic. They seem to connect well, and this has actually produced a lot of results. To Alexander Zinchenko, well, this was a very rare outing where Zinchenko didn't stand out. With much of Arsenal's good work coming out of possession in transition, there wasn't much opportunity for Zinchenko's technical quality to manifest. So I give him a 6 for this one. And of course, to the midfield, where you had a partnership of Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, and of course Martin Odegaard. There seemed also to be another perfect connection between these three. Arsenal's midfield guardian was, talking about Thomas Partey, was obviously at his best. Constantly broke up play and played a key role in backing up the Gunners' press. As good as Jorginho's has been, there seemed to be a difference in this too. Thomas Partey seems to be a beast when it comes to marshalling the midfield. His partner, Granit Xhaka, just before Granit Xhaka, I would love to give, I will be giving Thomas Partey an 8 in this one. To his partner, Granit Xhaka, his performance will probably go under the radar. But I think this was obviously his best showing of the calendar year. He showed a great understanding of his teammates, positioning, and movement with some delightful flicks and dummies. Just somehow, this guy would have actually scored. I really cannot see how he did not score, that goal in the first half. But it was generally a fantastic performance by Granit Xhaka, and he also, I think, he will be earning an 8 in this one. And of course, you have Martin Odegaard, who, he just grew in the match. He started slow, and eventually we also saw his qualities, in the game, and which obviously culminated in that goal. He gets a 7 in this one. And of course, to the attack line, where surprisingly Bukayo Saka had a bit of a quiet game, in today's game. And you have to give credit to this guy. Week in, week out, he has actually given his best, and you can easily excuse him in today's game where we didn't get to see that sparkling display from the right flank. So he gets a 5. A 5.5 for this one. Man of the match, Leandro Trossard. Just before we even talk about his display, he gets a 9 in this one. What a signing we have had like I said previously, I wasn't so excited, about the signing of Leandro Trossard in January. Maybe because the hottest property then was Mikhail Mudryk, but we've actually seen the quality of this guy, the masterclass performance that he has brought in. Again, it has to be reiterated that this guy gave a hat-trick of assists in today's game. Masterful work of both feet throughout the contest, with his delivering into the box. Obviously, superb. Of course, last but not the least, we had Gabriel Martinelli, whose energy was contagious, and Fulham simply couldn't just cope with. It would have been disappointing if we didn't get to see a goal from this young lad. I give him an 8.5 for this one. There were also cameo roles for some of the substitutes. We had Tierney, not so much display. He gets a 5 for this one. Reels Nelson, with all flashes of someone who actually wants to stay longer than his contract has at the moment. And of course, the return of Gabriel Jesus, which was the biggest one in all of the substitutes. He almost capped his return with a goal, but you can excuse the fact that he wasn't just sharp enough to actually give that goal. He gets a 6 for that one. We also have Takehiro Tomiyasu and of course Fabio Vieira, whose roles were actually quite limited, but they get a 5-5 for each. You can leave your views in the comment section on your ratings as well, and what you think the next 11 matches will be for Arsenal. It's been an interesting run so far, with the league title just a couple of matches away from Arsenal. With the return of Gabriel Jesus, you think this is going to be an addition to the squad, and what impact do you think he will be adding to the squad as well? You think we should be getting more goals, and the likes of Bukayo Saka should be getting some rest? Or just tell us what you think, and also remember that we still have an Eddie Nketiah who not so much has been heard about his return, but I think he's also one quality player that will actually need at this point in time. Please leave your views in the comment section on your general overview of today's game and Arsenal's prospects. Do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you get to be notified whenever there's a new video. Again, thank you so much for joining me on the show. I will see you some other time.